Hello again, everyone. This is going to be part two lecture of medical law and ethics. It's going to be a short, quick little video, but it is a really important one, so be sure to take notes. If you need to grab pencil and paper, pause right now to go ahead and do that. But there is some really good information in here, especially for your final exam. Okay, so today we are going to discuss contracts. Okay, so contracts. There are two different types of contracts we're going to be talking about today that we normally deal with in healthcare, and we are also going to discuss the elements of a contract. So what that means is we're going to go ahead and show you what has to actually be present in order for something to be even considered a contract. So they all have to be present in order to even be considered a contract. All three things do need to be available in order for it to be considered a contract. So we'll talk a little bit more in detail about that. But let's first go ahead and get to the two types of contracts. So your number one type of contract is going to be implied, or a lot of times we call this an assumed contract. This is the most common that we'll see in healthcare. The ways that you'll see an implied contract would be appointments that people call and make, and we don't draw up a formal contract for that appointment, right? We take the informations over the phone, or they're standing in front of us and we set the follow-up appointment, but we're not drawing up any sort of paper contract or anything like that. It's not very formal. Okay, this is why we call them assumed contracts, because not anything formal. We just assume that because someone has called the clinic and made an appointment, they're wanting to engage in a patient-provider relationship with us, or a patient and provider contract of some sort. So again, the implied or the assumed contract is the one that we are going to most commonly see in healthcare. Okay. So when we think of the word contract in our heads, we're probably thinking of an express contract. So, even in the cartoons, whenever they draw up a contract, it's an express contract, right? Bugs Bunny holds up a big piece of paper and he cuts a deal with somebody, right? All right, so that is something a little more formal. It's less common in healthcare, but it's definitely more formal and it's written. So you definitely don't see that as often. Like I said, we're not drawing up a contract for every interaction or anything. So we can even see this as an oral agreement or an oral contract. We don't see these quite as often. Like I said, we don't draw up contracts for everything we do in patient healthcare. Most of what we're going to deal with is going to be implied or assumed, right? So receiving an immunization is going to be implied, right? So patient comes into the office, and you propose to them, hey, it's flu season. We got our flu shots in. Doc wants us to see if you might want to, have a flu shot right away. So they may agree or they may consent to the flu shot, right? They usually lift up their sleeve or they say, yeah, yeah, cool, whatever. Or they reach out their arm to the MA, so then that way she can go ahead and stick them and give them their flu shot. But we don't draw a contract for that. We just assume, or it is assumed that they want to participate. It's implied. And so expressed, again, is more formal, is usually written out, contract signed, dated, that kind of thing. Okay? All right. So I'm going to erase this. Let me find my little eraser here. And then I'm going to put a couple of other things up here on the board for you guys. Let's see here. What time is it? All right. All right. So now we're going to start to discuss the parts of a contract. Okay. And again, forgive my handwriting. All right. Allah, it's all crooked. All right. So there are three different parts to a contract, and like I said before, they all three have to be present in order to be considered a contract. So the first one is going to be, the first part is going to be the offer, right? You got to offer somebody something. The offer. Okay? And then the second one is going to be the acceptance of said offer. Okay? And then the third one is going to be what we call consideration. Okay? Everybody got that? And I'm going to give you a little bit of a scenario to what we would typically see in healthcare in terms of an implied contract. Whoops, my lighting is getting jiggly there. All right. So, let me grab a different colored marker so you guys can relate differently here. All right. So, scenario, the offer that I'm going to go ahead and make is going to be a patient call. Patient calls the office, right? Patient's going to go ahead and call the office and is going to be wanting to make an appointment, right? And us making that appointment for the patient, you know, it's very informal, it's very implied, or it's assumed that they want to have a contract with the provider. We call this the offer. Patient calls the office and we set the appointment. I'm just going to abbreviate it here, okay? All right. So then part 2 is going to be the acceptance, right? So they're showing up for the appointment and they're completing the requirements. So they show up to appointment, right? And they're completing the requirements of our appointment, right? They are checking in, they're filling out paperwork, right? They're filling out medical history for us, right? They're giving us the informations that we need in order to go ahead and fulfill our end of the contract, kind of a thing. It's actually them showing up and, like I said, completing the requirements of the clinic. So this is where we're going to see compliance, right? In terms of making the appointment, showing up, giving us the information that we need to file a claim, such as their insurance cards, even a medical history form, medication list. These are the things we need, right? In order to serve them. And then, of course, we're going to hit our third part after that. And that's going to be our consideration, right? Our third part. And this is pretty important. It's going to be pretty important to us to keep us busy in business, right? So the third part is going to be the consideration. This is where the money is exchanged. Money, money, money. That's what we all need to go around, right? All right. So, and it can be a monetary value, but it's just where something of value is exchanged. It doesn't necessarily need to be money. In healthcare, we take insurance cards, right? In the healthcare world, we have these things called insurance cards. So some of you who have insurance cards, you know whether you have a copay or not. For instance, we have patients who are on Medicaid, and they have no copay. They have no deductible. They have no out-of-pocket cost or expenses. So they're giving us something of value, not necessarily money, but an insurance card. And in most cases, a lot of the time, we see both of these as part of consideration. Right? So sometimes they have a copay, sometimes they don't. We just take the insurance card. Sometimes we take both. Sometimes we take their insurance card and they are responsible for, say, a $25 copay, right? So we would take both. And so in exchange for that, the patient receives the services from us. So once again, we have the two different types of contracts, but these are the three parts of a contract. 1, the offer, 2, the acceptance, 3, the consideration. The two different types of contracts, again, are going to be implied or assumed, right? And then expressed. It's more formal and written, okay? Does that all make sense? I hope that all makes sense. I hope you guys took some notes. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me in your Hangouts or by your email. Just let me know. And until next time, you guys have a good day.